Good morning, friend. I hope you're doing well. It is about 4:30 in the morning on Saturday, the day before Mother's Day, 8th of May, 2021, and tomorrow's Mother's Day. Don't forget, hey guys, don't be one of those husbands who tells your wife, you're not my mother. She is the mother of your children. She is the partner in your life. Do something for Mother's Day. I'm just giving you a little warning, little heads up, brain surgery. Tomorrow's Mother's Day. And we love our moms. We love our wives. We're so proud of all of them. We'll be doing something special for them tomorrow. And don't be a moron. If you're a guy, hear me clearly. Tomorrow's Mother's Day. Okay, that's some friendly brain surgery advice for you, buddy. Okay, listen, friend. This is the last of the Wyoming Tapes episodes. This is number 7. I published it in March of 2018, and I got to get it out there for you because it's in that stranded category. It's Relationship Brain Surgery 2, which I called Wrestling with Pigs. This is just about what you do when you deal with somebody as best you can, and they just turn out to be mean or just unrelatable, and how do you handle that? We're supposed to get along with everybody and try our best to deal with people fairly and all of that, but there are some people you just can't expose yourself to, and once you know that, you have to figure out how to handle them differently. This episode's all about that. What happens when you wrestle with pigs is you both get dirty and the pig thinks you're having fun. So this is a blast from the past. Wrestling Pigs, Relationship Brain Surgery 2 is the last of the Wyoming tapes. I hope you've enjoyed these, and I hope have become a good resource for you. Thanks again for all your support for the Christian Book Awards. We were still just blown away at having received that award for the Memoir of the Year from last year. Lisa and I are grateful and humbled and thankful for all of your support. And so, friend, enjoy this. There's some important nuggets in here, and I hope you have a great time learning about wrestling with pigs. And as always, I hope you start today. Hey, I'm so glad to have you listening. I'm Dr. Lee Warren. I live in Nebraska in the United States of America on the banks of the North Platte River with my beautiful and brilliant and sweet, kind, loving, beautiful wife, Lisa Warren, and the super pups, Harvey and Lewis. I'm a neurosurgeon and an author, and I'm here to help you harness neuroscience, the power of your brain, faith, the power of your spirit, and good old common sense to help you lead a healthier, better, happier life. Listen, friend, you can't change your life until you change your mind, and I'm here to help you learn the art of self-brain surgery. To get that done, you can get the show notes and more on my website, wleewarrenmd.com, and add the /newsletter, wleewarrenmd.com/newsletter, to get every Sunday now for 8 years in a row without missing a Sunday, or sometimes it used to be Monday, but 8 years in a row we've had the weekly newsletter, my best prescriptions for how you can change your mind and change your life, and also get invited to the new Infinitely Happier social media app that's coming soon. If you like the show, please subscribe so you never miss an episode, and share it with your friends, and we'll keep growing. I'm Dr. Lee Warren. I'm here to help you change your mind so you can change your life. Let's get after it.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if everyone in your life was kind, generous, friendly, loving, and acted out of a spirit of service and helpfulness all the time? What if everyone in your family sought to follow the golden rule? What if everyone at work looked out for each other's best interest and not their own? Well, if those things were true, the entire personal development industry and probably 90% of the consultants working in business today would be out of business immediately. Because if everyone was always just nice, life would be so much easier, right? But the truth is, we often have to deal with difficult people at work, in our friendships, and yes, even at home. Now, back in episode 68, we talked about the kinds of cancers that can kill our relationships. But those things were focused mostly on what we can do to make our side of relationships better. But unfortunately, there are some people who just won't be nice. They won't behave properly. They won't like you back or be team players no matter what you do. And those folks can cause us tremendous pain. They can disrupt our families. They can hamper us in our business at work and generally make life very unpleasant. So what do you do when someone is mean, selfish, passive-aggressive? Well, today we'll find out. When you're dealing with a nasty person, the most important thing is to make sure you don't get dragged into the mud with them. Today we'll go deep, get real, and get after the difficult task of relationship brain surgery. Learning to deal more effectively with difficult people is one of the secrets to becoming healthier, feeling better, and being happier at home and at work. Listen, you can't change your life until you change your mind. And if you've got a difficult relationship in your life, you can't wait around for the other person to change. You have to take action, my friend, and you have to start today. Welcome to You Start Today. I'm Dr. Lee Warren, and this is my podcast to help you change your mind to accomplish real changes in your life. Hey, you're the hero of your own life story, but if your brain's not working right, if your thinking is stinking, or you're not seeing things clearly, you'll have a hard time winning the battles this life will inevitably bring to you. Sometimes you need a guide. You need some help. Sometimes you need some brain surgery, and that's why I'm here. This is episode 71, Wrestling Pigs, Relationship Brain Surgery Part 2. You can get the show notes and more on my website at wleewarrenmd.com/071. Listen, you can't change your life until you change your mind, and this is where we learn the art of do-it-yourself brain surgery to change your mind. It's where we learn how to become healthier, feel better, and be happier. It's where we learn to start today. So let's go. Got some bad news for you, my friend. You're going to encounter some mean people in your life. Seriously, there are some people who will never be nice. They won't play fair. They won't be your friend. They won't stop gossiping about you or stop trying to undermine your authority. And they won't stop trying to make your life more difficult. They will never start trying to make your life easier. Why? Because they're mean. Now, you know, as a neuroscientist and as a Christian, I hate labeling people. I teach that we should never say, you are selfish or you are mean, because research shows it's far healthier and more accurate to discuss behaviors rather than labeling a person with a particular quality. So it's better to say, hey, you are acting selfish, or that was a mean thing to do, than to apply a label to the person. But having said that, there clearly are some people who simply cannot be nice. They refuse to participate in societal norms or Christian behavior or best practices for teams or whatever you want to call it. Some folks are just mean, plain and simple. Now, back in episode 68, we talked about relationship brain surgery from the point of view of how we could change our behavior to try to improve our relationships. And I told you that there are 6 kinds of relationship cancers: comparison traps, anger or unforgiveness, negativity, criticism, a lack of empathy, and being unreliable. Now, those 6 cancers will hurt any relationship, and we should constantly be looking out for symptoms of them in our relationships and friendships and family relationships. But there is a limit, my friend, to how much we can impact a relationship, because there's always another person involved. So if you're encountering a mean person in your life, here's a checklist you can run to help you decide where the problem may lie. And if it's you, then you have to fix it. Do-it-yourself brain surgery is required to change your thinking about the relationship and your behavior in it. Here's the checklist. If you encounter a person who is consistently mean to you, ask yourself these questions first. 1, have I done something to offend them? 2, is there something going on in their life that might be producing this behavior? And 3, have I made them aware of their behavior? The first question is there because most people in the world, fortunately, are not truly terrible people. But at the same time, most people act in their own self-interest most of the time, and most people treat you the way you've treated them, or at least how they perceive that you've treated them. And in terms of your peace of mind, quality of life, and your emotional health, some of the most dangerous things you can do are to assume that other people are as selfless and altruistic as you are, that they are as emotionally healthy and mature as you are, or that they will ever treat you like they would like to be treated. Those are bad assumptions. So when you have a person who is being mean to you, acting selfishly, gossiping about you, acting passive-aggressively toward you, the first thing you need to do is ask yourself, have I done something to offend them, to make them mad, or in some way provoke this behavior? Many times, we can readily identify some point in time, a specific moment, when the other person started acting in a mean way or distanced themselves from us, etc. And it's sometimes not easy to admit it, but the answer in those cases is always to go tell them you're sorry. So the first thing when someone is being mean is self-inspection. In brain surgery, the first thing I do when a patient tells me their symptoms is to perform a thorough examination of them, their body and their nervous system. And when someone is being mean, the first thing to do if you're a do-it-yourself brain surgeon is to thoroughly examine yourself and your behavior. But let's assume for the purpose of this episode that the answer to your question is actually no. You absolutely cannot think of any reason why this person might be acting ugly to you that's related to anything you did or did not do. Then the next step is question 2. Is there something going on in their life that might be producing this behavior? This is basically empathy. The 5th form of relationship cancer is a lack of empathy, remember? And when someone is being mean to you, you should apply empathy to their situation and see if you can spot something that they're displacing onto you. Or, shocker, that maybe they're just not being mean to you, but maybe everything in their life is being affected because they're in financial trouble, or their wife left them, or their dog died, or they found out they have cancer, or their kid is on drugs. I'm willing to bet that when you have some major stressor in your life, it sometimes affects how you treat other people, even if they're not connected to you or even aware of the issue, right? I'm not making excuses for bad behavior, but I'm saying that sometimes if we recognize the motives behind someone's actions, it makes us more able to overlook some things, tolerate their behaviors more patiently, etc. Look, we can't allow someone's problems to destroy our peace of mind, the culture of our workplaces, or our other relationships. But if we understand why someone is doing something, it can at least help it not to hurt us as badly, or help us find ways to help them, right? Even when we can't easily determine, or if we're totally unaware of what's driving someone's bad actions, there is always something we can do or should do about it. Talk to them. That's the 3rd part of the checklist. Have I made them aware that they're behaving this way? Look, the Bible says in Matthew 18:15-17 that if you have a problem with someone, you're supposed to go talk to them first, not to someone else, not to gossip about them, not to retaliate against them, not to hate them in your heart, but to talk to them. Why? Because in talking to the other person, you give them an opportunity to look at their behavior and recognize it. I don't know about you, but I frequently do or say things I don't even realize I've done or said, and I really appreciate it when someone cares enough to let me know I've offended them. And more importantly, from your standpoint, by talking to the person who's being mean to you, you clear your conscience and make sure they're not just reacting to something you've done or they think you've done. Now, what happens when you've run the checklist and found no reason for the behavior and made the effort to talk to them about it, and they still keep being mean? Well, then, my friend, you have a choice to make. Recognizing that you have a choice should make you realize that you are not powerless in this. You do not have to be a victim of their meanness anymore. You can choose one of 2 options. First, you could choose to ignore them, to deflate them with a lack of acknowledgement that they are hurting you, and to just turn the other cheek, go the extra mile, or keep smiling as if you are immune to their behavior. This is basically the advice Jesus gave in Matthew 5. Be nice to people even when they are mean to you. Love your enemies. Don't expect life to always be fair. Sometimes ignoring mean people makes them realize you can't be bothered, and they move on to bother someone else. And sometimes they come to realize they're being unfair, and they'll come around, apologize, and thank you for being so gracious. This has happened to me before. The problem is there are certain situations in which we cannot just ignore the mean person's behavior. If it's tearing a family apart, if it's ruining the order and discipline of your business, or if the mean person is your spouse and it's threatening your marriage, then sometimes you have to engage the other choice. Sometimes you have to confront it. The purpose of confronting the behavior is this: you regain power in the relationship. Every person who's been a victim of meanness loses power, control, peace of mind, and self-confidence. But summoning the courage to talk to the other person sets things right again. You won't be bullied. You won't be overrun, and you won't be a hapless victim. You're going to them in love, but it's with the message of, hey, I hope I haven't offended you in some way. If I have, I'm sorry. Please know I had no intention of hurting you, but you've been mean to me lately, and I want you to know that your behavior is hurtful, and I'd like for it to stop. As I said, if I did something to hurt you, if I did something to incite this, I really apologize, and I would like your forgiveness, but I cannot tolerate this behavior either. So I want us to get it right. Do you see that, my friend? It's meek and it's kind, but it's also powerful. You're not a doormat. If you're wrong, you're ready to make it right. But you have rights too, and you need to be confident enough to expect to be treated fairly and with respect. Now, I'm talking here about people who constantly and consistently mistreat you, even if you've done everything you can do to make sure you're not the problem, that you've been empathetic and patient with them. And it's come to the point when the meanness is affecting your life, your family, your work, your business to such a high level that it simply cannot be tolerated anymore. The point of talking to them is not that we have a right to always be treated fairly. If you think that, good luck in life, because you won't be. And it's not that you should keep a running list of every time someone is mean to you. You shouldn't. If you try that, you'll soon decide that everyone except you is terrible, and you'll become an injustice collector. Your life will become defined by the things people have done to you, and that's a terrible way to live, and it's also a very good way to never be happy. The point is this. If your life is constantly being made worse or more painful or more difficult by another person's bad behavior, then you can choose to go to them and make it known that the behavior is mean and it needs to stop. Now, Lee, you might ask, what if I do all those things and the person is still mean? And that's a good question. And here's the answer. Recognize that there are many people who have psychopathology. They have bad problems at home that they're unwilling to acknowledge, so they're displacing that onto you. They have bad upbringing. They have spiritual poverty or jealousy or other issues. And that provided you follow the steps above, those issues are not about you. So if you've done what the Bible says in Romans 12:18, which says, as far as it is possible for you, live at peace with everyone, then you're clear to live your life without further worry about this mean person. In other words, if you've really done everything you can do, then you just have to decide to remove yourself from that person and remove from them the power to hurt you anymore. I told Lisa once, when this one horrible woman kept hurting her feelings by being awful and mean and jealous and gossipy and spiteful over and over and over, that it was clear to me that the woman had some sort of psychological issue and that Lisa shouldn't feel bad about the other woman's problem any more than she would let someone's diabetes offend her. The psychiatric or character issue of a mean person is not about you, my friend, and it predated you in their timeline, and it will live through their life even if you move away and never see them again. Thus, if you've done everything that you can do, there's really only one more thing to discuss. Your job is to be yourself, to live according to God's plan for your life, and to honor God and yourself. When someone is mean to you, there's a strong temptation to retaliate, to be mean back to them, to gossip about them. But that's always the wrong move. You simply cannot become healthier, feel better, or be happier in your life if you lower yourself to the bad behavior of another person. Matthew 5:44 says, bless those who persecute you, bless them and do not curse them, and pray for them. Why? Because if you've tried to help someone and failed, and they're still mean to you, and you've confronted them and that hasn't worked, then you've come to the point where you realize that it's obviously not part of God's plan for your life for you to be able to help this person not to be so mean. And it's bad for your brain and your heart to keep throwing yourself back into that fire and to keep getting burned. So, once you know someone is not your project, you know they're not your friend, and you cannot see a way for them to become nice or tolerable enough for you to continue in a relationship with them, the only other thing the Bible and good brain science requires of you is to pray for them, to wish them well, to hope that someday they will change and that they will find an answer to why they are so badly broken and mean. If you can do that, my friend, then you will have truly broken the spell of the mean person and you can live in peace. My dad used to say, if you wrestle with a pig, two things are guaranteed to happen. One, you're going to get really dirty. And two, the pig is going to have a good time. Mean people love when someone fights back because it gives them an excuse to keep being mean, to focus on your behavior instead of theirs. You need to focus on your life, your work, and winning the battles life brings your way. Remember this, winners focus on winning, and losers focus on winners. Listen, not everyone is going to be nice to you all the time. If you encounter a consistently mean person in your life, you don't have to feel powerless. You have choices. You have a checklist. You have power. Start living free from the power of mean people. And you have to start today.
Hey, thanks for listening. The Dr. Lee Warren podcast is listener supported. Check out patron.podbean.com/Dr. Lee Warren, patron.podbean.com/Dr. Lee Warren. Patrons and partners get free books, transcripts, special patron-only episodes. We released one yesterday and more. And partners like you allow us to stay ad-free and keep growing. And by the way, if you are a patron and you have not received an email with the links to your free books, email me, lee@drleewarren.com, because I have sent them. There's a couple of people that have had trouble downloading them. Let me hear from you. Dr. Lee Warren, lee@drleewarren.com, patron.podbean.com/Dr. Lee Warren if you want all that free stuff. Hey, please subscribe to the show so you automatically get every episode. And go to my website, wleewarrenmd.com/newsletter to hear all about Infinitely Happier, the app, and everything else that we got going on. Please continue to pray for me in writing the new book. I'm a little bit stuck on chapter 7. I need some help. Pray for me. It's going to work out. It's going to be a great book, but I need a little help, so please, please, please pray for the writing. Hey, the theme music for the show is Water into Wine by Tommy Walker, graciously provided for free by my friend Tommy Walker and the good people who are changing the world at Tommy Walker Ministries. You can get the music for free and consider supporting Tommy's great work at TommyWalkerMinistries.org. And if you need prayer, go to the prayer wall, wleewarrenmd.com prayer. If you have extra time, go there, wleewarrenmd.com/prayer, and pray through some of those requests. I guarantee you it will help them and it will help you. Remember, friend, you can't change your life until you change your mind. You have to start today. I'm Dr. Lee Warren. I will talk to you soon. I got to go to surgery in a minute. God bless you, friend. Have a great day. Play it, Tommy.